My name's Sara, and this morning I'm going to go through a lovely hip opening sequence with you, just doing some gentle stretches, working with the body's fascia again, as we've done in another class, just gently stretching and easing out the lower part of the back and the hip area and the pelvis. I love this sequence. It's such a nice sense of release, creating space in the body, and also just connecting with the breath and helping the breath just to help you to feel super stretched out and create space and ease in the body. Okay, so if you'd like to start by just finding yourself a strap. So I've got a yoga strap here. But it might be that it does need to be quite long. It might be that you could use a tie or a dressing gown cord or anything else really that just allows you to have a reasonable amount of length so that you can hold on to the strap with both hands and tie that around your foot. We're not going to do that just yet, but if you just have it close by, and then we'll come back to it in a minute. So first of all, just take yourself down onto your mat and just do the simplest of things, just stretch. So point your toes away and your fingers in the opposite direction and stretch out the whole body, giving yourself one of those amazing morning stretches, even if it isn't morning. And then bring the arms back and breathe out and allow the body to soften. And then secondly, we'll do a slightly different stretch. You just take the legs wide and the arms wide, like you're creating a starfish shape. So you take your toes and your fingers to the four corners of your room or your garden or wherever you are. And again, big stretch. And then release. Bring the legs back together. And then take the arms overhead. And this time we're going to just create a little bit of a banana shape. So just walk your heels in a bit and take your hands across. And just take hold of the wrist of your hand and stretch down the side of the body. And then come back to center. And just take the heels out to the left now, and the arms out, and stretch down the other side. So just a little bit of a crescent shape with the body, nothing too strong. And then come back to center. And take a deep breath in, breathe out, and just allow your spine just to settle on the floor a little. And then from here, just take a moment to draw your knees into the chest and start to gently circle into the sacrum, that lower part of your back, that fused part of bone in the back. And we'll just give it a little massage. Use your hands to draw your knees in, just loosening off anything that feels a little tight or maybe a bit crunchy. If you've been doing a lot of sitting, you might want to rock side to side, forwards and backwards. And then just lower the feet down, keep your knees bent. So your feet are about hip distance apart, your knees are hip distance apart. Bring your awareness into your pelvis and gently draw your navel into the spine and switch on your pelvic floor muscles. So just squeeze just a little bit into the pelvic floor, draw the navel in towards the spine, and make sure that you keep the small of the back and the lower rib cage pressed down into the floor throughout this movement. So turn the palms to face the ceiling, and then we're going to breathe in and take the fingertips up towards the ceiling, and then breathe out and start to lower the palms above the head. So you may not be able to go all the way down to the floor, it doesn't matter. Just keep pushing into the lower back. And then breathe in. And breathe out. We're just going to do that a couple more times. So we're giving the latissimus dorsi muscles a stretch on the upper and the side of the back. So breathe in. And breathe out. And this time we'll have a couple of breaths with the hands down towards the floor. You might want to roll up a blanket or have a cushion just above the crown of your head if you can't easily reach. Sorry, that was my dog. If you can't easily reach the floor, then just having some support there might help. Just keep that lower back down and then breathe in and breathe out. That's a lovely upper back stretch and gently works the core. And then we're going to hug those knees in one more time. So we're giving the back some nice care and attention today, just allowing it to release off. And then pause. Lower those legs down. And this is where you're going to need your strap. So grab hold of your strap and just wrap it once around your right foot. So you want equal length of the strap for your hands, and you might want to wrap that around your hands. And then when you've got a good connection through the strap and your foot, lie back down on the mat and keep your right knee bent for the moment, and then just gradually extend that right leg until your leg is pretty much straight. You might just want to keep a little bit of softness into the knee. You don't need to lock the knee at all. And this is your test now, so just check how far you can comfortably draw the leg in. So if it's less than 90 degrees, if your leg's somewhere like here, and you know you've got quite tight hamstrings, or you're feeling a little bit of tweakiness into the lower back, then keep your other leg, your left knee bent. If you're easily able to draw the leg into the chest and there's no strain at all on the lower back, then you may want to straighten the left leg and take that flat down onto the floor. It's a much stronger hamstring stretch. Okay, so relax your shoulders, make sure you're not clenching through the strap, and just allow yourself to have a wonderful deep hamstring stretch. If you're starting to feel this a little bit into the calf, then just take your leg out to the side a little until you can isolate the hamstring a little more. So sometimes from here you can feel that your calf is a bit tight. So you may want to do a calf stretch before you do this hamstring stretch if you're feeling very tight in your calf. So we're just going to hold and use some really deep abdominal breaths to help the body to stretch and release. So breathe in, down to the belly, and then breathe out and let go. And you want to feel that stretch in the area behind the thigh. So not in the insertion point in your knee or in your sitting bones, just behind the thigh. And then just release for a moment and rest. So we've not finished yet. Still got a little bit more to go on this side. So make sure you've got some space around you now. You need some space on either side of your body. And we'll take that leg back up. So listen carefully to your hips now. Just go as far as is comfortable for you. And you may be happier just having the strap in one hand. Just experiment. I'm going to breathe in, and as we breathe out, just start to allow the leg to come over to the side a little. So we've got quite a strong stretch coming into the outside here of the hip and down the side of the leg. You can have your other leg bent if that feels easier for you. And then on an in-breath, draw the leg up. Just pause, breathing in, breathing out, breathe in again. And as you breathe out now, you can take the leg out to the other side. So just take this as wide or as gentle as you want. If you do have any issues with your hips, then you may just want to be working just a matter of centimetres on both sides. Or you may be able to take the leg all the way down flat to the floor. Breathing in, lifting up, and then breathing out, and lowering the leg down. Okay, so just pop your strap to the side, and from here we're going to go into a piriformis stretch. So piriformis is right here, buried in the gluteal muscles in the buttock. And there are 2 stages to this stretch. So we'll do stage 1 first of all, and then if you want to, you can progress to stage 2. So pop your right thigh over your left thigh, and then either using your strap or using your hands, just feed your hands or your strap behind that left thigh and just gently draw the legs in towards the chest. And you may just start to feel a gentle stretch here into the piriformis muscle. So it's up to you how strong you make that, how much you draw in. But just check that you're not clenching into your jaw and your mouth. Relax through the neck. Make sure that your neck is supported when you're doing these stretches on the floor. So you don't want to be yanking your neck up like this, because it's so easy to pull your neck. So pop a cushion or a small blanket under your head so that you feel nice and supported. Just have a couple of deep breaths. As you breathe out, allow the body to stretch and release. And then we're going to come down. And you might want to repeat that again. If you want a stronger stretch, then pop your right ankle onto your left knee now and take your right knee out to the side. And then you can feed either your strap or your hands behind the left thigh. So we've now got a much stronger stretch here into this area. Keeping that neck supported, remember, and using the breath, just allowing that piriformis muscle to stretch. If you want to make that stronger still, then you can flex your right foot and push that right knee away from the body a little. Really opening up and working into that hip. We're going to breathe, stretch and release. And then gently release and let go. And just take a moment to hug the knees in again. So keep supporting and aligning into the lower back there. Just gently massage. And then release and allow both legs to come flat on the floor. So we're going to do a lying twist now. So for this, we're going to bend the right knee. So we're still working into the right side. And you can pop the arch of your right foot onto your left knee. So arch of the right foot onto the left knee. Nice and careful, just cupping the kneecap with the arch of that foot. If you want a stronger stretch, then you can pop the sole of your right foot on the outside edge of your left knee. That's much stronger, and you need to make sure that you're keeping the small of your back down on the floor and your core is engaged. So I'm going to go to stage 1. Pop the left hand on the right knee and extend your right hand out to shoulder level. On an out breath, engage your core, draw your abdominals in gently, and then breathe in, and as you breathe out again, take that right knee down and across. So just work with whatever feels good for you. You may just want a very gentle twist, and that will be enough for you. And then there'll be other people who can take that knee all the way down to the floor, keeping both shoulders on the mat. So we don't want to lift the shoulders, we're just creating a twist into the spine. You can twist the neck, look into that right hand, and just lift up that right hip. It's a beautiful, satisfying stretch down the right side of the body there, and use your breath. Breathe out, release, give yourself permission to let go, and then breathing in and come coming back up. We'll hug the knees in one more time. Give yourself a little rock. And then lower that left leg down to the floor. Draw your right knee in. And just gently circle into the right hip. Using your knee over to the other side. And bring your awareness into that right hip joint. Just feel into the hip. See how it's feeling. We're going to compare it to the left in a minute. And then come back to center. Draw the knee in one more time. Extend that left leg down if it's comfortable for you. Otherwise, keep that left knee bent if that feels better. And just enjoy that sense of opening and stretch into the hips and the hip adductors. And then slowly lowering the right leg down. And just take a moment just to see if you can notice any differences. See if you can bring that subtle awareness into the body. So you might feel a sense of heaviness, lightness, maybe warmth. Maybe one side might feel longer or shorter than the other. So there's no right or wrong. It's just helping to cultivate that sense of awareness and connection between your awareness and your body. Okay, so let's now do the other side. So grabbing your strap again, and this time we're going to wrap it around the left foot. You'll have to excuse the fact that my dog is here and he's fast asleep and he's snoring, so but he doesn't like to be parted from me, especially when I'm teaching my yoga, so I hope you don't mind. So we're going to start with a bent knee, and then just gradually extending that leg up, sole of the foot up towards the ceiling, and again we do that 90-degree check so that you can decide whether to keep that right knee bent or whether you're happy to straighten it. And then use your hands to just gently draw the leg in, giving yourself a beautiful hamstring stretch. So giving those hamstrings a regular stretch is super important. Take the leg out a little bit if you need to, just to really work into the hamstring. So stretching your hamstring can also help release out a tight back. Often if your hamstrings are tight, then you will often have lower back pain in particular. So just giving them a really wonderful supported stretch like this with a strap, you just can't beat it. And then we're going to just release that for a moment, just allow the hamstring to relax and go back. And then we'll come back up again. So give yourself a little bit more length on the strap. You may just want to hold the strap in one hand. And we're just going to circle into the hip joint. First one way. I don't know if we did this on the other side. We should have done. So if we didn't, then go back and you might want to just circle that right hip as well. I don't remember doing this, but we were definitely supposed to do it. So give yourself a nice circle. You might want to take that circle wide and maybe start small and then go wider. And that feels really good, just feeling into all those amazing structures within your hip joint and just allowing them to stretch and engage, and then changing direction, going the other way. Hopefully you've already done that. And then coming back into center. Rest your leg if you need to. And then again, we're going to go over first to one side and then the other. So just working within your comfort zone, what feels happy for you and your hips. So this can be quite strong, so don't push it. We're only ever working at 80%, remember. Breathing in, and as you breathe out, just allow the leg to come across a little. So keep that foot nicely supported with the strap. Feel the stretch on the outside of the hip joint there into your iliotibial band and into your hip abductors. Just breathe and stretch, and then on an in-breath, we're coming up. Have a breath here, breathe in, and as you breathe out, just taking the leg out to the side. Hopefully, unlike me, you've got enough room to do this. It actually takes more room than you realise to do some of these stretches. You need quite a bit of space around you. Keep your knee soft, so don't lock the knee. And then breathe in as you come up, and breathe out and release. You might need your strap for the next bit, so keep it close by. And we're going to do the piriformis stretch on the left side now. So left thigh over the right thigh, and then feed those arms or the strap into the back of the right thigh. You could pop your hands around the shin if you wanted, so that makes it a little bit stronger, but not quite as strong as when we do it when the ankle's on the knee. Remember that neck, keep your neck supported, and just relax through the jaw and the mouth. Take a couple of deep breaths here. And as you breathe out, give yourself permission to let go at a deep level. So we hold emotions, we hold memory. It's not just about tightness here, it's not just muscles. There's so much more to working on this deep release. And you can use the power of your breath to help you to let go. And then lowering down. And then either repeating there, or you might want to go a little bit stronger. And you put your left ankle on your right knee. And then draw that right thigh into the body. Flex the left foot. Push that knee away. And again, use some deep belly breath. So take the breath down into your belly, down into the abdomen. And then breathe out and let go. Feel that sense of space and openness into the hip joint as you draw that right thigh in towards the body. Taking your time, no need to hurry here. And then gradually lowering down and coming out. We'll hug the knees in again. Give the sacrum a gentle circle both ways. And then rocking from side to side. Keeping that spine nice and aligned. The hips level. And then lying down with the legs flat. And then we're going to take the arch of the left foot, this time onto the right knee or on the outside edge, if you feel strong to be able to do that. Make sure that your abdominals are switched on, and pop your right hand onto your left knee and extend your left arm out to the side at shoulder level. Breathing in, and as you breathe out, just gently drawing that knee across. So listen to your body, let it be your guide. Everybody's going to be different with this one. It creates a beautiful twist through the whole of the spine. You can look towards that extended left arm and just breathe and stretch. So for you, you may just want to work no more than 2 or 3 centimeters. Just gently lift just a little bit off the floor. Or you may be able to get that knee right down, almost onto the floor, and anywhere in between. Just breathe into the left side of the body, breathing out, letting go, and then on your in-breath, coming back up. Hug the knees in one more time. Give yourself a little rock, and then extend the right leg flat on the floor. Draw that left knee in, or you can keep the right knee bent if that feels more comfortable for you. And just allow the front of the hips there to stretch and let go. And then using your hand or just allowing the knee to circle gently into that knee joint. And then the other way. And pause. And then allow that other leg to join your right leg. And just take a moment just to check in again with your hips and both of your legs. And hopefully you're feeling balanced. Hopefully now both legs feel similar and you can feel that sense of ease and space in the hip joints. And from here we're going to go and do the bridge. So the bridge posture is really great for releasing out and building flexibility in the whole of the spine. It's very accessible, pretty much anybody can do it. You can decide how high or not you want to go up. You don't have to go up the whole way. And it's just really good for keeping your spine healthy and strengthening your gluteal muscles and also toning into the abdominals. Okay, it also works your quadriceps. And there's a lovely sense of freedom and flow that can come into your spine. So if you just like to lie on your back and bring your heels quite close up towards your body, with your feet hip distance apart and your knees hip distance apart. Make sure your pelvis is just nicely in a neutral position with your hip bones just facing up towards the ceiling. Make sure that your shoulders are comfortable and your neck is nice and long. You don't need any support under your neck for this. Palms facing down towards the mat. Okay. And just begin by bringing your awareness into the abdominal area. As you breathe out, on your next out breath, draw the navel down towards the spine. So just begin by doing that 100% as much as you can. And then switch down to about 50%, then about 25%, and then just a little bit less again. And you're on about 20% of your abdominal engagement there and pulling in through your pelvic floor. And we want to keep that level of engagement through this posture. And then just begin to gently lift and tilt the pelvis up and down. Breathing in and breathing out. So a tiny movement, lift, just lift the base of the spine up off the mat and then push it back down. No need to go too far yet. We're just working very gently but deeply into the spine, the vertebrae in the spine, the spinal discs and the muscle structures around that spinal column. So keep your knees hip distance apart, relax the jaw. If you do have any thyroid issues, then you might not want to come up all the way because this posture does actually stimulate the thyroid. And then we'll start to go a little bit higher. So each time you come down, imagine a string of pearls and don't allow lower parts of your spine to come down before the upper part. So breathing in and then breathing out. See if you can slow the movement down. Keep those knees just hip distance apart and start to push the knees away from the body. And feel your gluteals starting to engage as you go a bit higher. And eventually, we're going to get to a point where you've got a diagonal line from your knees right up to your shoulders. So the next time we come up, if you want to, we could hold. Just hold in that position, keeping those core muscles working.
pushing into the soles of your feet, making sure the knees are together, just hip distance. And then if you want to make that a little bit stronger still, you could just pop your thumb under your waist and your fingers around your hips and just hold there for the count of 10. So this is a really good way of working those gluteal muscles all around the hips, into your quadriceps. That's where you're going to feel it as well, into the front of the thighs. Just breathe and relax. And then gently release the hands, push the palms back down onto the floor. And let's see how slowly and with how much awareness you can lower the spine back down, keeping the knees close together as you breathe out. Imagining that bicycle chain or that string of pearls as you incrementally lower the vertebrae back down onto the floor. Beautiful. Feeling any stiffness, any tightness there in the spine, just releasing and easing off. And then just lying in the Savasana corpse pose just to finish this class. Just taking a moment just to lie on your mat, just feeling that connection between your body and your mat and the floor. Feeling the air on your skin, noticing your body breathing. Just taking a few moments of stillness, just noticing the sensations in your body after moving in that way. Staying there as long as you'd like, and thank you very much for joining me as always. I hope you've enjoyed stretching and opening into the hips and the spine, and I will look forward to seeing you again soon. Namaste.